Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not altogether sure where I know how to begin here. I'm doing this because first of all, I'm a bit breathless, and I want to make sure that I get this right. This will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. I want this to go out. I'm going to title this. I'm going to title this video Earth's Final Warning. Let me introduce myself. On my YouTube channel, as you can see from my YouTube channel, I've done a series of biblical lessons called 52 Essentials of the Messianic Faith. I especially want those people who watch my YouTube channel to go to lesson number 15, which deals with the second coming of Yeshua. I want to talk to you about what I've been doing and what this is all about. I did the 52 Essentials of the Messianic Faith about 3 years ago. One of the lessons was the books of the Bible, in which I covered the books of the New Testament, the books of the Old Testament. And in the books of the New Testament, when it came to Revelation, I specifically said that I will deal with Revelation in a separate study, and I am. I'm in the process of putting together a book called 1260, The Two Witnesses, which will be a collection of biblical essays on the subject of Daniel, Matthew 24, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and the entire book of Revelation. It will be presenting Revelation from a historicist point of view. There is a reason why I'm doing this video. There are some events that are yet to happen which are going to be very nasty, specifically towards people of the book. When I mean people of the book, I mean, i.e., Bible believers, Protestants, Messianic Jews, and Jews. They are going to be dealt with in a very heinous, aggressive, and stringent way in the not too distant future. And then beyond that is Revelation 18. Now, to understand Revelation 18, okay, I'm going to read to you Revelation 18. I need to bring it up here, and then I'm going to show you my what my exhortation is to those people who believe in that we can just deal with that we can just deal with Revelation on the basis that that anybody can interpret whatever they wish. Well, they can't. I'm going to read to you what Revelation 18, and it has yet to be fulfilled. And I'm going to read it in its entirety. This is the chapter of Revelation 18. This is the section that is yet to happen. This is the section of Revelation that is yet to happen. And we are yet to get there. I'm going to read it to you, and I've broken it down the way I have so that one can easily understand what Revelation 18 is all about. Okay? Just let me get there, and I will read to you Revelation 18, and then I'm going to show you what you need to do in response to this. And I'll tell you the reason why I'm doing this. Revelation 18 comes after Revelation 17, which gives you an overlay of the Vatican's history. Then Yahweh's got a judgment against the Vatican's history and against the downfall of the whore of Babylon, who rides the beast. And by the way, the beast that she rides is actually the two beasts. The first beast is the beast that comes out of the sea. That is the 1,260-day year prophecy, 42 months times half a times prophecy. And then there is the second beast that comes out of the land. And that is an amalgam. I believe that it to be the Anglo-American beast, and it gives its power to the first beast, and that's where the two beasts become one. And right now we are living in the world where the two beasts are finally becoming one, and the whore is riding that beast. Now there's going to be a downfall, so I'm going to read to you, okay, what it says here. Revelation 18, the downfall of Babylon. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having a great power, and earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mighty with a strong voice, Babylon the great is fallen, and become habitation of devils, hold of every foul spirit, cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundances of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not a plague. Yahweh is about to release plagues upon this institution, but only after people of the book have been attacked vehemently at some stage in the not too distant future. It is with that in mind that I'm doing this video, okay? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities no more. Reward her even as she rewarded you, double unto her according to the works in her cup, which saith filled double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, famine, shall be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Yahweh Elohim who judges her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for fear of the torment. Alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, in 1 hour. Now, if you do not understand how to reconcile an hour and a day, I'd recommend you get yourself a globe and understand how the globe works. Okay, here you are. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. No man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchants of gold, the merchants of silver, the merchants of precious stones, and of pearls, and of fine linen, and garments, and material, and fabric, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, tine, wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory and marble, and manners of vessels of precious wood, brass, iron, marble, says it. Gold standard will no longer work. Silver, the next best thing, will follow. The diamond industry will no longer be working either. The fashion industry will not work. Furniture industry will no longer be working or selling their wares. The foundries will no longer be smelting all forms of metal. Work will come to an abrupt end. And of cinnamon, and of odors, and ointments, and frankincense, wine, oil, and the fine flour, wheat, beasts, sheep, horses, chariots, slaves, and souls of men. Cinnamon and odors, ointments, frankincense, ointment, and that means the perfume and culinary industry will cease. Food and agriculture in its national and global sense will cease. Wheat, crops, beasts, cows, livestock, sheep, lambs, horses self-explanatory, chariots in the modern day will be tractors, pulling machinery, automobiles, cars, private transport. A key indicating species economic factor of any decent economy is the sale of its automobiles, and its oil industry will cease their sales and will cease their running. The souls and slaves of men, that means worldwide unemployment. Everybody will lose their job and their form of income. And the fruits of thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all the things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them. And it repeats this statement in Revelation 18, no more at all. And the fruits and the lament of the profiteers, The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. The Vatican worldwide banking industry will be brought to an abrupt end, and no hope of any recovery. And saying, Alas, alas, the great city was clothed with fine linen, purple, scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. The end of maritime shipping, plus the end of maritime and admiralty law, for in 1 hour so riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster, and every company in ships, and the sailors, and as many as trade by seas, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is alike unto the great city, that being Babylon, the Vatican? And cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, the great city wherein we are made rich, and all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heavens, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Elohim have avenged you on her, the fate of the wicked. The mighty angel took up a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence the great city Babylon is thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. All forms of Illuminati music will cease. No craftsman, no craft, witchcraft, masonry, Freemasonry will cease. Agriculture as a millstone not working. Light in the candle, electricity will cease, i.e. power stations, whatever their power system will be, will cease. The voice of the harps, the musicians, the pipers, the trumpets, and shall be heard no more at all in thee. No craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. The sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. Are you getting a pattern now? And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For all the merchants were great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all the nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and all them that were slain upon the earth. That means her records are going to be made open. The Vatican's records are going to be made open. They're going to be made open to show that she was responsible for all the Crusades, the rise of Islam, all the Inquisitions, the rise of each of subsequent revolution, all world wars, right up to the present. Her record is going to be made known, and people are going to see that she was responsible for it all. This will happen in 1 day. This will happen in 1 day and in 1 hour, in which we will see the world go out, and in which there will be seen these things. No man buyeth their merchandise any more, no more at all. Verse 14. 1 hour, verse 17. 1 hour, verse 19. No more at all, verse 21. No more at all, verse 22. No craftsman whatsoever shall be found any more, verse 22. Verse 22. No more at all in thee, verse 22. No more at all in verse 22 as well. It repeats that twice. Now, there is a reason why I'm doing this. There's a reason why I just read that to you, my brothers and sisters in the faith. This event is coming upon us, and I've been to Asda today to do some shopping ahead of the weekend, and I have seen a big supermarket store virtually decimated of food stocks, toiletries, cleaning equipment, and so on. This is just a glimpse of what we have coming down the road. This particular little glitch we will recover. But I want you to mark this lesson and mark it well, my brothers and sisters, because this little lesson is going to be given to my Bible-believing friends alone. I'm going to be putting this on YouTube. Okay? But I'm only going to be sharing this with my Bible-believing friends. because the world is going to be judged for rejecting the knowledge of God. By the way, I believe in the historicist interpretation of Revelation. The futurist interpretation of Revelation was created by Ribera, and virtually every Bible believer I know that I come across on my Facebook account is propagating the futurist interpretation of Revelation as created by the Jesuit Ribera. That means Riberian theology accounts for the stupid nonsense of the complicated and confused mess, the Gordian knot that makes up the Riberian theology of Revelation, and it doesn't work in any way whatsoever. I personally believe that any interpretation other than the historicist interpretation of Revelation is an abomination, a heresy, and is damnable. And by the way, I believe that a correct understanding of Revelation is essential to salvation, because the futurist interpretation of Revelation attacks the 70-week prophecy, the messianic clock, as found in Daniel 9, and by doing that you're countermanding the very aspects of who the Messiah is prophetically in the prophetic clock. Now, my response to Revelation 18 is this. My Bible believing friends are going to have to get themselves some books, and I'm going to show you some books that you need to buy. Okay? You're going to need to buy some books and decide where you live and how you live. The time is coming that my Bible believing friends are going to have to get out of her. Now, when it says in Revelation 18:4, come out of her, that my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not her plagues, that means that you don't just come out of the Church of Rome. You come out of everything the Church of Rome controls. That means you come out of secular education, you come out of banking, you come out of industry, you come out of the pharmaceutical industries owned by the Vatican, you come out of politics owned by the Vatican, you come out of secret societies owned by the Vatican, you come out of these round table think tanks owned by the Vatican. Everything is owned by the Vatican. You come out of her. You come out of everything that she's got and sunk her claws into. Come out of her. Now that means you have to make a decision where you go. Us Bible believers need to really see where we need to go with this. So I'm going to show you some books that you need to get. Number one, the SAS Survival Handbook. Okay, it's a book that shows you survival tips. This is survival. These are survival books I'm showing you. Okay? These are Bible books. These are survival books I'm showing you. The SAS Urban Survival Handbook. You need to get a copy of that. You need to get a copy of the complete survival manual. Here's another book, Bushcraft by Ray Mears. Get a copy of Bushcraft. A Cook on the Wild Side, Finding Food for Free. Knowing where to find food, free, where nature grows it, living off the land. Obviously you'll need a first aid manual, because you'll need to look after each other. You'll need to be able to conduct at least basic triage. Here's another book, rare book. This is called Food for Free. Shows you, yet again, pictures and images where you can get food for free from hedgerows, fields, woodlands. A smaller version of Ray Mears' Essential Bushcraft, pocket size. And finally, for your home, if you live in a home, the SAS Security Handbook. With those in mind, and for those who can see it all, if you're going to a major supermarket and you're finding your major supermarket depleted because the world has gone ape mad and acting like the mad rantings of a brain-dead vegetable or the wild ramblings of a rabid baboon, which the world is, the chattering masses, then you have just been given a foretaste, a glimpse of Revelation 18. In Earth's Final Warning, the title of this video, Earth's Final Warning, the historicist interpretation of Revelation gives us a playbook of how it's going to go out prophetically. It helps us to be forewarned and therefore forearmed about what we're dealing with. In these books that I've just showed you, It will teach you, number one, in any survival situation, remain calm, assess the situation, look at your resources and your options, analyze and break down what it is you need, prioritize and triage your entire existence. Once you've done that, then you can assess where you need to go, what you need to do to buy your resources. Economics are going to be at a close. The global economic collapse is happening. It's going to happen at some stage in a not too distant future. I would give an estimate. I can't give an actual date, but I'll give an estimate of about approximately between 12 and 15 years, maybe even sooner, depending on how quick the events are unfolding in America. Because what is going to happen in America is going to be essentially the biggest indicator as to what happens globally, because America right now is arguably the most powerful economic nation in the West right now. So I'm going to give you this warning. The reason why I'm giving you this warning is because I have seen what has been going on with my local supermarket, and I am really shocked, and it's a glimpse. And I felt that this is pertinent. Now, I'm actually in the process of getting a book together which is called 1260 Years, the Two Witnesses. My recommendation is that I'm going to try to give some recommendations in there when I deal with Revelation 18 of what the saints must do. If you live in a city, try to find a way to get out of a city, because the cities are going to be the worst places if affected by this. Go to rural and provincial towns where localized markets will be established. I have a feeling that what we'll be doing is getting back to the barter system and localized economies. Right now, I see no evidence of that happening right now, but when the advent of oil dries up. Now, there are a couple of documentaries that I respectfully request that you watch. Number one is Michael Rupert's documentary called Collapse. Another one is James Burke's documentary called The Trigger Effect. And then there's another documentary, World Without Oil. Those three alone should give you a glimpse. And when you see that, you probably see already signs of that happening with this event, thanks to COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. And by the way, I do not believe that there's an actual pandemic. I believe that this is a psyop that was mounted against the ordinary people of this planet to scare the living daylights out of them. And it worked. This is the little warning, a very short warning. I've given you Revelation 18. I've given you a collection of books that you need to get. My belief is now is the time for you, my brothers and sisters, to start seriously considering where you are going to live and how you're going to live, and how you're going to live in a world that is going to be vastly different to anything that you've known up until this point. Okay? Be blessed with this message. Thank you very much. And I do pray that my fellow brothers and sisters in the faith wake up and smell the coffee. It's about to get very, very dark very soon. Be blessed. Shalom Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. And may Yahweh guard you and look after you.